Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Precision Rifle Media. This week I got Chris Opfor coming on to talk about an exciting new match up here in South Dakota to shoot. We used to have, it's a PRS match too, a 2-day PRS match. So Chris is bringing this one back and, not back, but he's bringing it up from the beginning. So Chris owns a target company and is now running this match. And without further ado, I'm just going to let Chris introduce himself a little bit of who he is and where this match is coming from. Chris, I'm glad to have you on. Could you introduce yourself a little bit, who you are, what you do, why you do it?
Well, yeah, I'm Chris Opfor, like you said, here in Huron, South Dakota. I shoot a lot of PRS matches myself, and like you said, there's not really any close matches. I think the nearest one for me has been roughly 8-9 hours away. So I've been really pushing to get him back into our area. I started last year with some one-day matches, and they went pretty well. And this year we got ourselves a 2-day PRS match. So
Awesome. Yeah. So, which matches were you shooting? The PRS matches? Which ones are the closest?
I want to say like the Conway Lead Distributors matches down at Derek Love's place. So it'd be like the Punisher positional.
Yeah,
that was probably the closest one.
Was it that one or the Barrel Maker when they had that? But now that's not going on anymore.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it's kind of a toss up between those two. I think they were about 9 hours to get to each one.
Did you shoot the Barrel Maker?
I shot it one time. Yep.
Yeah, that was a good match. It was fun.
Yep. It was a fun match.
Yeah, Ken gave me the heads up on your match quite a while back, and I texted him not long ago. I was like, "Oh, hey, you got anybody that'd be interesting to have on?" He's like, "Yeah, get a hold of Chris." I'm like, "Well, he's coming on in like 2 days."
Perfect.
So that worked out.
Yeah, I've been talking to Ken quite a bit because when I went to his match, it was a blast. It was run very well. He had a lot of stuff going on at that match, as I'm sure you're aware of, and it was run so well. I figured he's probably the guy to be asking questions to, and then this year he took over the PRS, so he has all the answers now.
Yeah, exactly. Did he say the key to running a successful PRS match is making sure that you play Fortunate Son over and over and over?
No, he didn't tell me that one.
It's a little trick he learned, I think. Were you there that year?
I don't recall that.
They had the helicopter set up, and every time you got into the helicopter, it tripped a little, like I don't know, they had some kind of little laser sensor or something in there, and you'd trip that, and it would play Fortunate Son as you were shooting out of the side of the helicopter. It was it's just an airframe sitting there like on springs or something or whatever, but it's
Yeah. I don't think they didn't have any music going when we were there.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I remember people just being like, "I am so sick of hearing CCR."
I can imagine so, especially if you shot it poorly.
Yeah, I did shoot it poorly. I got I know we're kind of off subject here, but I got a cramp in my chest, so I was trying to get rid of that, and the RO leans in, he goes, "Are you okay?"
I thought you were having a heart attack or something.
Yeah, just fat and out of shape. Just give me a minute. But so cool. So you also own Target Hanging Solutions, which is a little bit misleading because you do sell the targets too.
Correct. Yeah, it started out, I was kind of tired of fixing targets all the time, so I was hanging targets by chain just like most people have done, and finding ways to hang them to where I wasn't having to repair targets all the time was just kind of a pain in the butt. And then I came up with a T-post hanger, and it used rubber straps. That was my first product, and so that's kind of where the name came from. And obviously it kind of progressed from there. You got to have targets to go with your setup, so just products kept coming in over the years, kept having ideas on how to do things better, and I don't know, we've grown to have quite the selection now.
Yeah, I saw you had the was it a sale or something on the Western Animals?
Yep. Yeah, we've for the past couple of years have been doing like some limited runs. I have kind of limited space in my garage for inventory, so doing limited runs has worked out really well for me to the point where I can cut 10 or 15 of an item, People jump on them and they love the the novelty and the newness of it, and then I don't have to stock it all the time because they usually go out the door pretty much within a week of doing those limited runs. So yep.
Sure. Yeah, that's cool. So what are they made out of? What do you AR 500 or?
Yep, all my targets are AR 500. The most of them are 3/8 AR 500. That's kind of the bread and butter for centerfire guys. If you get to further bigger targets, a lot of them will opt to go with 1/4 inch just because it reacts better. On the rimfire side of things, all that stuff's made out of 1/4 inch AR 500.
Sure, all those little tiny 1/4 inch wide targets for the 22s.
Yeah, they get pretty small for those guys.
Yeah, it's unreal too. Like you're shooting like a KYL rack or whatever, right? And it's like a 2 inch down to like a 1/4 inch. There's not even a little target at the bottom. It's just a strip.
Yep. Yeah, those are when I was cutting those. Guys wanted those KYL racks, and it's like you can't even make this look like a target. It's just a stem, pretty much.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I remember the first time I shot one. I was just south of my house here at a match, and I thought, how in the world am I even going to do that?
Yeah.
I made it happen, but
Yeah.
with actually 100% luck, though. I mean, it was close enough that even I could hit it. Right, that was the thing.
It's impressive what those 22s can do, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. You sell quite a few to the 22 guys, the guys that are doing like the matches and stuff. Don't you? Do you have a match pack or something?
Yeah, I do. I sell a fair amount. I would say, most of my targets are sold to centerfire guys, but I do sell a fair amount to rimfire match directors and shooters.
Sure. So where'd you get the steel for your match? No, I was kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, I cut quite a bit last year for the 1-day matches. I'm going to definitely have to cut some more this year for the 2-day match.
Oh yeah. So now we kind of talked about the target hanging solutions. Let's talk about the match itself. Give me the download. Like you said, that you just kind of saw an opening and decided somebody should be doing it. Why not you?
Yep. Yeah, it started, a year and a half ago. I had talked to Shannon and kind of asked what it's going to take to get one back up into South Dakota, and they really wanted somebody that had match directed, at least some 1-day matches. So that's where we started last year. That was that was a big purpose of doing my 1-day matches last year, was to get experience and make ourselves a front runner for having a new match. And then I was talking to Shannon last fall as I was kind of seeking out venues for the match, and just kind of went through the process with him. And we had a location nailed down by Chamberlain, and that kind of fell through, so we had to change it kind of late in the game. But I think we're good to go now. So then obviously Ken's taken over the PRS. I've asked him a lot of questions on how to set things up and making sure that we have a successful match. So the match is called THS Steel Challenge, and it's presented by TS Customs. And I'm sure a lot of people know, but I suppose not everybody knows Travis Stevens from TS Customs. He's always been my gunsmith for shooting matches and a lot of my hunting guns. And he stepped up and wanted to be a title sponsor for us. So really happy to have him on board.
Awesome. Yeah. Out of Miller. He's out of Miller still, right?
Yep.
I met him actually down in like the Kadoka, if I remember. We were hunting a coyote contest, coyotes against cancer.
Yeah.
And I think they only did it that 1 year and maybe a couple of years, but yeah, he had mountain curs. My cousin's got mountain curs, so it was kind of funny to, that connection. So we're kind of BSing, and he's telling me all about these guns and stuff, and I'm like, I wonder how much this guy really knows, because like, how it is. You can talk to people that, they talk about shooting long range, and then a couple 100 yards is really about as far as they get,
Yeah.
And so I just BSing with him for a little bit, and then we leave, and I didn't really think anything of it or whatever. And then down the road, I find out who he is and what he does. I'm like, oh, he really knew some stuff. I should have spent a little more time talking to him, picking his brain.
Yeah. He's a wealth of knowledge on that stuff. And
oh yeah, he probably.
I know he loves his coyote hunting too.
Oh yeah, Yeah, I had him. I had him bring me a extractor for my Lone Peak Fusion down to the Nebraska, the Bighorn, back when they were doing the Bighorn.
Yep.
And he brought me a Magnum extractor on accident.
Oh shoot.
So I throw it in the rifle because I, bent my extractor, and I didn't test it or nothing. I was in the hotel room or whatever, and I changed it out. So I get down to shoot the first target, and it was a coyote at it was a long ways out, 700-800 yards. It was like the real long troop line type deal. It was all coyotes.
Yep.
I pulled the trigger on that first round of the day, and you're down there in Nebraska. It's kind of like what it is here. There's always some wind. This is it's just dead calm. It's perfect. It's the longest match, the longest stage of the day. Couldn't ask for better conditions. I mean, to knock out the long one.
Daddy.
No, hey. Sorry. I got fruit snacks now.
Perfect.
So there's the long, one. So I get down behind the rifle, and I had everything pretty well dialed in. I pulled the trigger. I smoked that first target. Like I said, it was like 800 yards, 7, 8, 900 yards, whatever it was. It was a, pretty far long shot for the first shot of the day for me, and I just drained it. And then of course I can't get the case to extract.
Oh shoot.
So then I messed around, finally get a cleaning rod, knock that out. Ended up having to run back to the truck and change my extractor on the back of my truck, and then run back to the next stage.
Did you get all figured out after that though?
Yeah. After that, the old extractor worked. It was just bent. I didn't want to trust it for the whole day, but it ended up working.
Gotcha. Right on.
But yeah, that was just kind of funny. That was probably the second time I hung out with Travis.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. But okay, so he's the title sponsor. So tell me more about the match. What's kind of the gist? Sell me. Why am I going? Of course, I already signed up, but
well, first off, it's in July, so hopefully the snow's gone.
Yeah, if we're lucky.
Yeah, sounds like we're supposed to get more snow here by the end of the week, but I picked July. I wanted, June, July, August, somewhere in there, just because the weather can be so iffy here in South Dakota. Luckily, the PRS had a week they could fit us in. It's July 14th, the sign in, and then 15th and 16th is the match. We're going to be at Willow Creek Wildlife, which is west of Fort Pierre. We should have targets between 300 and 1,100 yards. I don't have the course of fire totally nailed down yet, but my plan is to have, like 50% prone, 50% positional stuff. I'm going to have a good mix of animal targets, probably be about 50% animal targets, and the rest will be, circles, squares, maybe some diamonds and triangles, which everyone loves.
Yeah, right.
But we're going to be shooting kind of over a little creek bottom, so I'm hoping that there will be some kind of goofy wins for people, and we can put some targets in some fun places that are maybe some will be hard to find. I think most of them will be pretty easy to find, but we're going to have a few that you got to look for and pay attention to where the targets are. It's going to be set up as it's going to be more challenging than the one-day matches for sure, because it's a PRS match.
Yep.
I would expect target sizes to be in that 0.4 to 0.6 of a mil range, so roughly 1.5 to 2 MOA.
Yeah,
that should be kind of the average.
Way smaller than I can hit.
Nah, should be no problem.
That's what you say now.
Yeah, the animal targets, the thing about those is they give you a lot of wind, usually, depending on what the target is. Just you don't
That's
have
true.
a lot of elevation, but I do, I try to keep my animal targets shaped in a way that they're not super wide and super skinny. I want them to be, more fair, I guess, is what I'd say.
Yeah, like the coyotes howling, right?
Right, yeah.
It's a little bit.
Yeah.
The nice thing about shooting a coyote silhouette is that it hits a hit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they go down a little easier than the ones in the coyote contest.
Right.
Yeah.
You should do like a goofy, like a draft or something.
I don't know. I want to keep it mostly like South Dakota animals. That's kind of my thought process is I want to have a few like South Dakota hunting theme style stages, if that makes any sense. But
Yeah, yeah.
we might need to get a pickup out there so we can shoot out the window.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, you set the beer down, roll the ease the window down real easy.
Yeah, yeah, that might be a prairie dog stage or something.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, prairie dog stages. Prairie dog stages are hard to. That's a little target.
Yep, yep. We'll have a mix of some closer stages and some far ones, and then we'll have some that span the whole distance. Hopefully, hopefully we can get about a 90-degree pan on the wind. But
So it's 1,100 yards. You said was going to be about the furthest.
yeah, roughly in there. Like I said, I don't have the whole course fire nailed down just yet, but
Yeah,
should be
that's
about
somewhere in
there.
there. Yeah. So sign in is going to be that Friday.
Yep. Friday we'll do sign in. We'll have a zero board available. We'll have some steel set out for checking dope. I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a fee to shoot off the props and shoot any of the targets, to check dope. And then, if you're coming from out of state and you've never shot here before, it gives you a little bit of a chance to, I don't want to say catch up because I don't think anybody really has an advantage, shooting our matches in South Dakota because they're not going to be the same targets, not going to be the same stages or same props. But it just gives everyone that even playing field if they want to shoot off of some things that maybe they haven't seen before.
Yeah, and if we're lucky, those 3 days will be the 3 days of summer.
Yeah, right. Hopefully it's not 100 degrees that week.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true too.
But
anything that a new shooter or somebody who's never been to, any advice for them?
My advice to any new shooter going into a match is just make sure you get your hits. Don't try to rush through stages. Make sure you have good data on your gun. Know your velocity, know your BC for your bullet, and just go into every stage with, just thinking about that stage and making sure you get your hits and don't worry about getting through the entire stage. I think that's where a lot of new guys struggle is they try to get through a stage and they rush. And once you start missing, it's really hard to get back on track.
Yeah. And once you start hitting, it's really easy to fall off track.
I tell you what, hitting targets makes it a lot easier to hit the next target, though.
It does. You get that confidence going, right? And you can,
Yep.
and the bullets are going where you want them, and you get a feel for it. Otherwise you're just kind of hoping.
Yep.
So if there is any new shooters out there, I don't know, Chris, if the squatting, how that's going to work or whatever, but if there's anybody out there that's never shot a match before or isn't really that comfortable, maybe going by themselves or whatever, I'd squat up with anybody like that. Full disclosure, this is my first PRS match in like 2 years, but
Perfect. Yeah, we'll have, squatting will be done ahead of time. I honestly haven't even set a date yet for that, but it'll be, probably a month before the match. I would anticipate squatting will be, and then, you can choose who you get squatted with. You just get on practice score. That's what we did the registration through. Makes it really easy for us to communicate with everyone as far as match details go and, see who we have actually signed up for the match. And yeah, squatting is real easy through practice score. It just makes our life as a match director a lot easier using practice score.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it used to be all like Excel spreadsheets and chicken scratch,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing a PRS match that way.
No, and all the different iterations of like, the iPads and the Fire Stick Kindle things and the, a bunch of wet Excel spreadsheets with all the hits and signatures and whatever, man,
Yep.
it's come a long ways. But like I said, anybody who's listening, anybody that if they're wanting to go to a match and they're looking for somebody to go with or somebody to kind of hang out with or a little bit of guidance or whatever, get a hold of me or get a hold of Chris, and Chris will get you in touch with me or whatever. We'll try and get squatted up. I'm totally happy to help anybody that I can. If you don't have a ton of gear and you want to do it, let me know, because I'm going to be carrying all my stuff anyway and we can't shoot at the same time. So, anybody who's just looking to get into it or whatever, get a hold of me. And then anybody who squads up with me, I'll try and bring some swag from the show or something and hook you up.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the nice thing about this sport is, just about anybody you shoot with will loan their gear if you need help. As a new shooter, obviously don't hesitate to ask anyone in your squad for help, or even the squad next to you. You can ask someone for help, and the guys in your squad, I don't know hardly anybody that's ever said, no, you can't use, my piece of equipment on a stage.
Right.
There's still stages I shoot that I don't have the right equipment and I'm borrowing it from someone else. So.
Right. Or you see somebody do something that, oh man, first guy to use a tripod, first guy to, but yeah, that being said too, it's like one of the few sports where because what's your PS? What's that rifle behind you that you got there? What's that all said and done cost wise?
Oh, that's tough to say.
Is your wife around? No.
She's not. I don't know if I'd say maybe, I don't know, $5-6 grand into that, maybe with optics and everything. Obviously you don't need to spend that kind of money to get into it.
No. My point here is that you've got, say, $5 grand into that. Some guys got more than that even. That's like you did a good job if you've only got $5 grand into that whole thing. You could probably run into Chris on a Tuesday at the range, and he would just about throw it at you if you asked him to shoot it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
If you find me at the range, I'll let someone shoot it, and hopefully they don't drop it when they see how heavy it is.
Yeah, right. But that's the thing. Like, you can walk up to just about anybody with one of these $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 rifles, and you ask them to shoot it, they'll just about throw it at you.
Yep.
I mean, that's the cool thing about it, and that being said too, if you don't even have a rifle and you want to come shoot a match or whatever, if you're competent or whatever, you live down in the Sioux Falls area, especially we get to the range once or twice or whatever, I'll loan you a rifle too.
Yeah. And there's lots of guys that'll do, a lot of guys bring 2 rifles to a match, a backup rifle and their main rifle. And if someone has a rifle go down, I've seen so many people just been like, here, use mine, use my backup rifle, and they end up shooting better with that one anyway.
Yeah. And then it's like, isn't that the worst when you borrow a rifle and you do better with that than you do with your own stuff?
That happens.
It does a fair amount too.
Yep.
Yeah, but getting out to shoot the match, new shooters, registration. That's what I wanted to talk about. Registration was 2 weeks ago? A week ago?
Yeah, we started the 16th of March, I want to say. That's when it opened up. I think we're about 70% full right now, 60, 70% full. Haven't pushed it real hard just yet. And I think I'm confident we're going to fill it up, and hopefully it doesn't take too much longer, really. But
yeah. So how many shooters?
I have it open to 100 right now. Plus we're going to have several sponsor slots to fill in. So I'm hoping that we have 125, maybe 150 shooters there. If we get up to 150, I might have to rethink the course of fire and the logistics of everything. What I wanted to do was 10 stages on day 1 and 10 stages on day 2, which if we start earlier on Sunday, which we should be able to, we can get people out, at a pretty decent time. And my goal is to have 2 ROs per stage, so that'll help kind of push people along. I'm going to really stress to the ROs to keep the match flowing. I don't like keeping people there really late. I don't like being late at a match either. But if we get, 150 people in the match, then we're probably going to might have to run 20 stages consecutively.
Sure. I'm having a heck of a time tonight, man. I got questions, and as soon as you stop talking, I'm listening to you, and then my mind's just going blank.
It's all good.
ROs. Let's talk about ROs. What's your deal with ROs?
Well, currently I think I have about 10 signed up. I've got a practice score registration link. It's up on our Facebook page. So I'm having the RO sign up through there. Again, that just helps me communicate with them. My goal is to have a spotter and a scorekeeper on every stage. That way, the shooters themselves do not need to be spotting. Granted, that's not the end of the world if we have to do that. Many matches across the nation are using that option. The PRS has a couple different RO options. You can have the guy scorekeeping, and then the shooters can do the spotting, call impacts, or you can have at least two. I think it's two ROs per stage, one to do the scoring and one to do the spotting.
Sure.
And then
Is
yeah.
is your match the one that Thunder Beast?
They are going to do a side stage on Friday. I guess I didn't. Is that what you're wondering about?
Yep. Yep. If you could kind of hit on that a little bit too for the ROs.
Yeah, yeah. So the side stage on Friday is being put on by Thunder Beast Arms. Sam Carlson's going to run it. He's coming to the match. He's going to be shooting the match as well. So what he's going to do, I'm not entirely sure on what he's running for a side stage, but I know, the fastest like clean run is going to win one of the Thunder Beast bipods. And I think he's going to charge something like 20 or $30 a try. And then all that money is going to go to paying the ROs. And then I hit on it earlier, but the fee that people pay to shoot off the props and stuff, that money as well is going to go to ROs. So we're going to hopefully, pay them, I'm guessing between 100 and 150 bucks a piece. And then I'll also have a place for them to stay, because I actually have 2 hunting lodges rented out for sponsor slots and ROs to stay at. And if I have to get another Airbnb or something, I'll do that if we get enough helpers. On top of that, we plan on obviously feeding them at the match and the banquet, and so we want to take care of our ROs because they're what's keeping the match going.
For sure. For sure. And then ROs get a prize table walk too, yeah? Or a chance anyway at it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do something with a prize table walk. I haven't totally figured all that out yet, but got a lot of details to figure out by July.
A lot of work. A lot of work to do.
Yep.
That's the thing, right? A lot of people, the first match, I know you hear everybody talk about being just super stressful, right? And then once the first one goes off, they kind of get a little easier and a little easier. But,
Yep.
There's a lot, from what I've been told, there's a lot that goes into it that people didn't think went into it in the past,
Absolutely. Every week I'm like, crap, I didn't think of this. I got to figure something out for that. And it's been nonstop like that since about November, honestly.
Yeah, I bet. How far away is the ground that the match is on from you?
The match is actually 2 hours from me, so I got a little bit of a drive to go set up. Not that big a deal, I guess, in my mind, to go 2 hours and have a nice place. Where we're by the Missouri River, so it's kind of a cool place for everyone to go shoot a match. Unfortunately, we're not right on the river, but as far as staying there, there's tons of campgrounds along the river. There's plenty of hotels in Pier. There's hunting lodges and Airbnbs, so there's a lot of places to stay. As far as that's concerned, I should mention that there is a walleye tournament in town that weekend, so there's going to be a lot of people in town. So if you get signed up for the match, I would recommend getting a hotel or something early. But we're also gonna look into other options as far as hunting lodges and stuff. There should be plenty of rooms with all those around Pier.
Yeah, I know I've gone up the pier we do visual emissions reading. It's like smoke. It's dumb, but they do it up there at pier at the little kind of by the hockey rink there or whatever. They're like a hockey rink or whatever. But man, I got up there one night and the hotels were like $270 a night, and I had to spend the night at I don't remember, like the Best Western or something there or whatever, one of the normalish hotels up there. Something was going on in town, and it was just super expensive to stay there.
I don't think I've ran into that one yet. Most of them that I stayed at were under 100, but it can definitely happen, I suppose, if there's enough people in town.
Yeah, it was expensive. I don't remember what was going on, but there was just people just everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a place to be in summer.
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot going on up there. How far away is the address is Fort Pierre?
Yep. It's like west of Fort Pierre, 10 to 15 miles.
Okay.
And
So
then
Fort Pierre for everybody listening is like Pierre is like right on the river, and like the east side is Pierre and the west side is Fort Pierre, basically.
yep. Yeah, it's all pretty much one town. Um, but yeah, from the river there, 10-15 minute drive. It's not a bad deal. And then we're only a mile off of the highway, so yeah. And it should be pretty good gravel getting down there. Hopefully we don't have a torrential downpour or anything, but even if we do, we should be able to get down there no problem.
Well, if it's all flooded like a couple years ago, we could go walleye fishing while we're
Yeah, I think we're far enough away from the river. We shouldn't have to worry too much about getting a lot of water there. But
yeah. Well, there was guys fishing. They were just walking down the river and casting into the ditches, catching walleyes. That what was it? 3 years ago?
oh yeah, when it was flooding all the way down through Nebraska and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
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 yeah. But hopefully it's not that bad.
yeah. Hopefully. So, just the other. I guess we're gonna have to try and get everybody out to the Cattlemen's Club.
Yeah, I
That'll be
haven't
the place.
actually been out there, but I know a
You
lot of
haven't?
guys. I haven't, but during my 2 matches last year, a lot of guys were going out there.
If you're coming to South Dakota from wherever and you are looking for a good place to eat, that would be up in the Pierre area. It's like a supper club kind of a thing or whatever, steakhouse deal. But they are good. They are worth going to.
Good deal. I might have to check it out.
Yeah, that was my wife's family's got some ground, maybe 45 minutes west of Fort Pierre,
Okay.
and so we went up deer hunting up there last year. So
Kill a big deer.
nope, didn't even see one.
What?
No, I saw 3 does.
Dang.
Yeah,
What
there
were you
wasn't
doing wrong?
everything apparently. It was super dry. It was super dry the year before. It was there was just people all over. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of deer shot that year. We put a lot of miles on too. We just didn't see a lot of deer.
Yeah.
Saw a ton of coyotes.
Yeah. Well, I kind of had the same experience last year. I know a couple people did. Just there weren't a lot of mule deer to be found, and not quality ones anyway. Um, I hunted a couple different places across the state, and kind of same experience in all the spots I went to. So
Yeah. So all right, so let's talk a little bit more about the match here. So match fees what $285.
yep, 285. That gets you shooting on Saturday and Sunday, obviously. You can sight in with the zero board on Friday. There is an additional fee to shoot off props and shoot at distance.
Which
Shouldn't
we
be,
encourage you to do.
yeah, it is wise to do if you want to be competitive in the match. It definitely gives you a little bit of help for the next day when you go to shoot those stages. Getting some help.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of help. Sorry, more fruit snacks.
Good deal.
They're
I need
pretty.
some fruit snacks.
Yeah, little poor little bugger. He's 2.5. He's got a double ear infection.
That's no fun.
Yeah, so he's not thrilled. He's mad I'm in here.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think it's a benefit to shoot off props. It definitely gives you a starting point for the next day when you actually run into that stage. Um, and then, so back to that match fee, obviously we're going to feed you on Saturday. Our plan is to have uh, a lunch truck. It's going to be barbecue from, I think, Scotty D's is what we're going to do. He does a lot of different barbecue stuff, but I think we're going to have like barbecue pork sandwiches in the field. Not sure if we're going to have him park the truck up on the firing line or if we're going to run meals to people. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do there yet. Depends on where he can actually park his rig.
Sure.
Then on Sunday we'll have a banquet meal at the awards. We're going to do that at the community center in Fort Pierre there.
Oh, okay. It is going to be right there.
Yep.
God, I think that's where we do smoke school.
I haven't actually been in there yet. I was going to step in there, when I set up one of these one-day matches just to get a feel for the space and all that. But I think it's a pretty big area. They do weddings there and everything.
Sure. Yeah, if it's the place that I'm thinking of, it's like a big, like most small towns have something similar, a big open building.
Yep.
Kitchen on one side, bathrooms on the other.
Yep. Yeah, and it's handy there. They can set up tables. They're actually going to cook the meal because they cook a lot of meals. I don't know exactly what they're doing there, but they do cook meals every day there. I know for people in the community, so
sure,
they're well equipped.
So the match is Mountain Time.
Nope, all my times are in Central Time.
Okay,
and we're right on the time zone line, and
Fort Pierce Mountain and Pierre is Central.
Yeah, but we're doing Central Time just because that's the real time.
Yeah.
No, that's the guys at the hunting lodge. I asked them before I did my one-day matches. I said, "Are you guys Mountain Time or Central Time?" He's like, "We run on Central Time here." So that's what I decided I was going to do all my matches in.
Yeah, it's funny. I guess that's kind of how it is. They all just run Central Time pretty much just to keep things simple.
Yeah. Yeah, because you get right in that area and your phone will switch back and forth. So it is wise when you come to our match to put your phone in Central Time and make sure it doesn't automatically update.
Mm-hmm. Make sure it's not bouncing.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. That gets kind of confusing up there, too. Like I said, hunting, and we stayed in Pierre, and it would be Central, but then we were hunting in, the Haken County. Haken? How do you pronounce it? You know how to pronounce that?
I don't know that county.
It's
no, I don't.
No, it's but that's mountains, so then you're it's always bouncing back and forth and trying to make sure you're getting out there on time and not too early, not too late.
Yep. Yeah, I always got to do that when I'm hunting. I hate being late to hunting.
Yeah. So any movers, any swingers, anything crazy you can talk about?
I don't think I'll have a mover. I don't want to say for sure. I do have access to a mover. Guy has told me I could use his mover if I want, but like I said, the course fire is not totally laid out yet. Still waiting for more snow to melt and still waiting for the snow to stop coming, honestly.
Yeah.
That's been the hard part is it's like there's no sense in making a trip out there when I can't even get out in the field. It can only do so much on maps, on onX and whatnot. But
yeah, dropping pins and going off of GPS. Yeah.
Right. It would be nice to put up a mover. We'll just have to see if it works out. As far as other things, everyone's kind of going away from using spinners and matches. I'm not going to say I won't have a spinner. But it's not going to be set up so that you necessarily have to spin it.
Sure.
It might just be, you shoot the spinner, and I don't want to give too much away, but it's not going to be gimmicky. We'll say that.
Sure. I can't remember what match I was at, but the guy had like a 300 win mag, couldn't get it to go over.
Those shoot-abouts put them over in one shot.
Yeah. Nobody spun it. Nobody at all.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not going to do that because it gives, the guys with bigger cartridges have a little bit of an advantage. They can spin them in less shots than the guys shooting 6 mils, and I don't want to.
It's like the only thing I got going for me.
Yeah, I don't want to disadvantage or advantage any certain cartridge. So the match is going to be set up to be fair for everyone across the board.
Sure. Yeah, that's kind of the frustrating part, or maybe not frustrating, but difficult, right? You want the guy it's his first match. You want him to have a good time.
Yep.
But you want the guy that shoots 30 matches a year to be challenged.
Right. Yeah, that can be difficult. that's kind of where we're keeping, the targets in that 0.4 to 0.6 mil range. I mean, if you have a lot of targets, we'll have quite a few targets probably in that 0.4 to 0.5 range. Guys are going to miss some targets with those, especially if we get our usual South Dakota winds. It's going to make people miss those targets. And then we'll have those few bigger targets, 0.6, that'll get some of the newer shooters hitting targets for sure. We'll have some closer up targets, in that 300-yard range that the wind won't be that big of a factor at that distance. So guys should be getting their hits.
Sure. Do you ever see where the guys take like a silhouette of a deer, like a plywood silhouette of a deer, and hang a steel target behind that?
I haven't. I've seen it in some local matches. I haven't seen it in any pro matches.
Yeah, that's always kind of cool. They did that. What match did they do that at? I can't remember what match they did it. It was a 2-day PRS or NRL match. I can't remember which one it was. But it's amazing, how many misses are just
so
barely
close to hitting.
Yeah, exactly. They're just the whole, like, you cut a nice circle in it or whatever. When you see it afterwards, like how many misses are just just off the edge, just chewing up the edge of the circle.
Yep. Yeah, it's I mean, everyone out there shooting has a pretty good idea what they're doing. They're going to be close to hitting most of the targets.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, yeah, but it's just amazing to see how many are, I like all the hits on the tail feathers of the pheasants,
Yeah.
The hit's a hit.
Yep. Yeah, I might have to cut a few pheasants out for this match. That's only fitting for a match in South Dakota. So
yeah, right. Put it on a fence post.
Yeah. Well, I'm not using any fence posts. I'll probably be using all AR 500 posts.
Oh yeah. True.
But
yeah, those AR 500 posts, those are sweet compared to like a T post and stuff. Those.
Yeah, they are. In my mind, they're the only way to go for a match. They are a bit of an investment, but for me, less so.
Yeah. Are you using a water jet?
We use a laser table.
A laser table?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it works out pretty good. We can cut out a sheet of steel pretty quick.
Yeah. Do you take custom orders and stuff?
Yep. Honestly, I would say about 50% of my business is custom orders.
Oh yeah, just people calling up and say, "I want this thing."
Yep, that's a lot of like match directors. They don't necessarily need their targets powder coated and all that because that powder coat's going to be gone in no time anyway in a match.
Yeah.
And they can save when they're buying a pallet of targets. They can save quite a bit of money by not getting them powder coated.
Yeah. Yeah, and the powder coating is nice for like inventory stuff, right? So it's not all rusty and doesn't get wrecked or whatever. But but for somebody who just wants to buy them and hang them up and be done, spray paint some white stuff on them and be done.
Yep. And
whatever color's cheapest at the hardware store.
Yep. Yeah, and if you've ever handled raw steel, it's pretty handy for me to have inventoried stuff powder coated because it just turns your hands black and everything you touch after that turns black. It isn't fun to deal with, but
you powder coat in house?
No, we have a place here in Huron that actually does our powder coating for us.
Yep. That makes it way easier than having to hang everything and spray everything and throw it in an oven. And
yep, I just drop a pallet or two of targets off and then pick them up a week or two later.
Nice. What's the goofiest target you ever cut out?
Oh.
Or is it all pretty normal stuff?
Probably an alien head, honestly.
Really?
Yep. That's probably the oddest one. Yeah, I don't know. I've cut so dang many over the past few years. That's the one that really sticks out in my head. I did that, and we did a KYL rack. I think it was for Derek Love down in Kansas, and it was squares where the middle was cut out. There was like a square.
Yeah. You're the terrible person that did that?
I think a couple people have done those, but it's like the cutout kept getting bigger and bigger to where you pretty much just had a ring around the outside to shoot at.
I'll tell you what, that's a super cool idea though.
Yeah.
Outside of the box, and like, I don't know, I just think that's neat. So like, for listeners, if you've never seen one, which I think most probably have, but most of the time, like a KYL rack, it starts out as like, just let's just say it's a 10-inch circle, and the next one's a 8-inch circle, and the next one's a 6-inch circle, and a 4-inch circle, and a 2-inch circle. They all stayed like an 8-inch square, but then the first one's solid, the second one's missing a 2-inch square on the inside of the square, the next one's missing a 6-inch square, and like, yeah.
Yep. It gets pretty tough when you just have a thin band of steel to shoot at.
Yeah. They're hard enough to hit anyway.
Oh, and there's another one popped into my head. I did a fish once.
Oh, really?
Yep. It was like a Bass Pro fish.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Huh.
They sponsored a match out in Colorado, a PRS match, and so they wanted some bass for the targets.
Huh. That's funny. I could see like silver carp.
Yeah. I should do some of those.
That would be kind of funny.
Yeah.
I always wanted to shoot those with a shotgun off the back of the boat.
I'm sure it'd work well.
Yeah, it'd be just a blast.
I don't know if that was supposed to be a pun or not.
No, it wasn't. I'm not smart enough for that.
It worked out.
Just worked. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I'm getting pretty geared up. I'm excited for this match. I'm putting a new barrel on the rifle just for that match. That's this my number 2 match of the year. I got a match this weekend, and then are you gonna be down there?
Is it Dylan's?
Yep.
Yeah, I plan to be. Hopefully, we don't get too much snow.
Oh, that's just gonna be Friday.
Yeah, I saw 8 inches and 50-mile-an-hour winds, so that could be interesting.
Oh, really? They're only calling for an inch down by us now.
Oh, huh.
But I'm 3 hours east.
Right. Yeah, we saw 8 inches and 50-mile-an-hour wind, and I don't know. That can make for some messy highways on Saturday morning.
That's true. He did move out the start date or start time. I mean.
Yep.
And then Saturday's looking pretty good though.
Yeah, the weather should be pretty good on Saturday as far as shooting down there. Have you shot at Dylan's before?
I haven't. No, I've actually. It's been well since we brought the show back. This is what we're going on a month of releasing shows and boy, it's been 2 years since I shot a match. Probably.
Okay.
The Barrel Maker's last match I shot.
Okay. Been practicing up?
Absolutely not. No. No, it's going to be bad. It's going to be a rough match.
Yeah. It's a good place to go. Close to home is a good place to go shoot a match and not rust off.
That's kind of the plan, is to get out there. I got my brass is all wore out, and I don't know what firing some of it's on, and some of it's new, and some of it's barrels shot out. I'm in rough shape. But I figure, what's the difference? I'm going out there to just kind of knock the dust off, get back into it, get the feel for everything again. I'll come back. I'll spin up a barrel for the rifle. I think I'm going to do a GT and then practice up and come out to your match and see if I can remember how to do it.
Perfect. I love my GTs.
Not that I ever won one before, but I can be optimistic, right?
You haven't won one?
No.
Well, go win Dylan's this weekend.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. No, I won the hunter class of the world's 50 cal championship in Raton. That's my one big win.
That's awesome.
But
yeah.
But that's not PRS. That's like a 1,000-yard deal.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as Dylan's match this weekend, he put it on. I went to his last week, and it was a fun match. Cool place to shoot. You got a big old bluff back behind their hunting lodge there.
Last week or last year?
Did I say last week?
You said last week.
Last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't shoot there last week.
I was gonna say I didn't know you had one last week.
No, I was at the Sioux Falls Gun Show last week. But
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, last year he had a match, and I think he had one the year before. I didn't make it to that one, but it's a fun place to shoot, fun match.
Yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be cool to get out there and see everybody. Are you going to shoot the tiger meet?
I'm hoping to. Um, Tim's a good friend of mine, and he puts on a fun match. If you haven't shot that one before, it's a blast to shoot there. Last
What is
couple of
tiger
years.
meet?
Where is it?
What is it?
What is tiger meat?
Yeah.
Do you not know, or?
I know.
It's something disgusting that I'd never eat. No, it's raw hamburger mixed with a bunch of stuff. I don't know. You probably know more than I do as far as that goes, but I don't eat that stuff.
I don't know much about a lot of salt. I think there's a lot of salt in it and a lot of, I don't know. I don't really know what's in it either.
Yep.
But I don't know. It's like raw hamburger that they eat on a cracker or something.
Yep. Spread it on a cracker. I don't know. A lot of guys love it. I kind of want to try it, but I'm like, man, my stomach tells me I shouldn't try that.
Yeah, I don't know. They, like you said, people love it. I shot. Did you ever shoot the pit match down here?
Yep. I shot one down there last year.
Yeah, there was
last
guys
2
there
years.
handing it out like it was a drug deal.
Yeah, that's how it was at Tim's match last year at the Tiger Meet. They had that in the back in coolers in the back of side by sides, and everyone was eating it all day long. And
Yeah,
I thought, that might be good thrown on a frying pan or something. That might be more my style.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so in Wisconsin, I remember they would do a cannibal sandwich, which was kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
But it was like on a bun,
Hmm.
like a sloppy Joe, like if you didn't cook it.
Yeah, that's not my style.
No, I've only heard it called tiger meat out here. It's a big South Dakota thing.
Yep. Yeah, I don't even know if I'd heard about it. I moved up to South Dakota like 8 years ago, and people were talking about it, and they had some at work one day, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna try that.
Yeah. Where'd you move up from?
Nebraska.
Oh, sure.
Not too far away, just south of Yankton, but
What, in 15, 14, 15?
yeah, well, I think it was 2015 is when we moved up here.
Yeah,
Right at the beginning of it.
I moved out here in 15 too, summer of 15.
Right on.
I moved to Brandon though. See, I was going to Brookings all the time because my cousin was going to school.
Mm-hmm.
And we were hunting and fishing, and I thought South Dakota's great. I'm going to move out there to get away from all the people, and I ended up in Sioux Falls.
You didn't do a very good job of getting away from people.
No, I didn't. I did a very bad job.
I was gonna say it was actually. So I'm originally from just south of Yankton, but where I moved up from was down between Lincoln and Omaha. That's where I was living before I moved up here, and it's a lot different up here, and I think I like it a lot better up in Huron. I like the small town atmosphere.
I like that area. I wouldn't mind moving out there. Yeah, I can tell you I'm never going east again. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and I'd love to have a match close to here, but it is flat as a pancake up where we are, and it's just hard to, find a place that you can actually set up a match and have good backstops and stuff. So.
Yeah, they used to do. Did you shoot the South Dakota Steel Classic back then?
Yep. Yeah, I shot it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, that was pretty good out there. That was what, in Miller?
Yep. Yeah, northwest of Miller, and it was about an hour and a half drive for me to that one even.
Yeah, because I went up there with Mike one time too. I drove up by Mike, and then we all drove up over there before he hosted that match.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cool place to shoot.
It was. It's a bummer that all kind of stopped.
Yeah.
Of course, you wouldn't be doing your thing if it did. So.
No, I probably wouldn't have bothered if they still had that going, but
It's your job to carry on the torch.
Yeah, hopefully we can keep it going and keep keep everyone happy with a match in South Dakota, I guess.
Yeah. So we're coming up on our hour here, but real quick, let's hit on ROs. You looking for ROs?
Yep. Yeah, still looking for more ROs.
Yell at me if I'm misspeaking here, but even if you don't have a lot of experience and you want an RO, sign up, because there's got to be somebody to run the scoreboard, right? I mean,
right.
So like that's not the difficult thing. You don't need experience spotting and stuff to do that. So,
right. And on our registration page, we actually you can select scorekeeper or spotter. If you select spotter, we do, want guys with some PRS experience or some bigger match experience, either shooting or spotting, just to make sure that we've got, good quality spotters on every stage. But as far as scorekeeping, yeah, we need one on every stage, and there's going to be a couple of stages where it wouldn't be a bad idea to have a couple people on glass or an extra person just helping facilitate the stage. So
Keeping
even if you
people
don't,
moving.
yep, even if you don't have a lot of experience, I'm sure we can find a way for you to help.
Awesome. And then, yeah, so there's that. If you're looking just to get into it or whatever, like I said, if you're a new shooter and you're intimidated or whatever, you want to go with somebody who's going to do bad as well, then sign up with me. Um, no, for real. If anybody, any new shooters, get a hold of me. We'll squad up. I'll help you however I can if you're a little scared to do it alone or whatever. Is there anything else you want to throw out there about the match? Anything different, goofy, odd?
I wouldn't say really different or goofy or odd. I mean, we're like I said, the animal targets I think is a big thing. I'm bringing like a different array of targets out there for guys. Like you said with the new shooters, even if they can contact me and say, hey, who should I squad with or anything like that, or ask me pointers. I've shot quite a few matches over the last few years, and if you need any pointers, don't be afraid to give me a call and ask for help. Or if you don't want to shoot, maybe you just want to see what it's all about, ROing is a good way to find out, kind of how the process of a PRS match works. Like I said, as far as scorekeeping, it doesn't take a ton of experience, and yeah, you get exposed to a lot of really good shooters at a PRS match.
Yeah, for sure. See a lot of different gear and stuff too that you can kind of
Right.
Look at, play with, feel.
Yep.
Sometimes
Yeah,
it's hard to see all that stuff all at the same time. All right, and then so let's talk about target hanging solutions. If somebody needs targets,
yeah, get a hold of me. I have stuff for the match directors, backyard shooters, and everything in between. The big popular thing for match directors right now is AR 500 posts, and we also have our AR 500 hooks for T-posts that a lot of guys like, and those have been used matches and backyard use. They're cheap to use, and yeah,
quick, fast, easy, last.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. So that's what targethangingsolutions.com.
Yep. TargetHangingSolutions.com, and we're on Facebook and Instagram as well. So
on the gram, nice.
Yep.
All right, man. Is there anything you want to throw out there before we wrap it up?
I don't know. I think we covered most of it, as far as I know, anyway.
Awesome. Look, man, I'm really excited for your match. Like I said, it's my PRS match for the year. First one I've done in several years, and I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be good to get out there, and it'll be nice to see you this weekend.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing you, man.
Awesome. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thanks.
All right, everybody, that wraps up our show. If you got any questions for Chris, get a hold of him, targethangingsolutions.com. Questions, comments, or concerns for me, Kirk at precisionriflemedia.com, or you can go to precisionriflemedia.com, click on the Contact Us section. That'll shoot me an email as well, or the Facebook. That's quick and easy. Facebook, actually, it's Facebook is quick and easy, but then there's the Twitter and the Instagram as well. If you guys got time, go look us up on there. I'd appreciate it. We haven't used that stuff a ton lately, or since I started it actually, but it would be nice to get some followers there, and I'll start using that stuff a little bit more in the future. Again, I just want to say, anybody who's maybe a little bit intimidated to come out or has never shot a match before or something, is just looking for somebody to go with, get a hold of me. I'll meet you up at the match. We'll squad up. I'll help you out however I can. So with that, everybody, man, I appreciate you listening. Take care. Try to get to the range, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.